Today's review comes from Romania and it's one of my favourite breweries, Bereta. This is quite an interesting one. It's called Severe Tilt Heavily Hopped IPA with oranges, 6%. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review today. Bereta Brewing, all the way from Romania. This is an IPA at 6%, heavily hopped it says, and it's got orange peel in it. And the hops in it are also a little bit on the old Marmite scale. Sabro and Talus, the cousins of each other, Sabro and Talus. Sabro, pina colada, coconut, pineapple, that sort of stuff. And Talus, very sort of floral, flowery, Turkish delight, I always describe it as. Well, let's crack this beer open and see what it's all going to be about. Why the need for orange peel? I'm not sure. Now, Bereta make really good beers. I haven't had a Bereta for a while. One thing I always like about Beretas, they're always dead soft in terms of their mouthfeel. I always think it's a big thing with them. It's like drinking a cloud. Certainly quite light. Yeah. Very light, so it's a very pale yellow colour. We've got two fingers, and that's pretty compacted, that head, so that's going to probably, that's your typical sort of floaty or drinking a cloud sort of beer, which you get from Bereta. And already the aroma is starting to sort of hit the room, but let's go dive into this aroma. Oh my word. Yeah, very sort of like, almost like smelling potpourri. You've got that real sort of flowery, pink grapefruit is the fruit that's coming through. Yeah, but and I say Talus and Sabro are always sort of connected in a slight sort of, well, cousin way. That's what they call it. It's the cousin sort of thing. There's a hint of each in each other a little bit. And the orange as well. Obviously, that orange peel's coming through as well. I think it's going to be a good, refreshing beer. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Wow. First things first, it is really soft, that mouthfeel. It is light, really light, but smooth in terms of there's hardly any carbonation in it at all. Very soft. Flavours, obviously the added adjunct, the orange peel, is quite key in the flavour. But once you get past that, you definitely get a very sort of flowery, floral sort of flavour. I'm not really picking up huge amounts of the Sabro. You would have thought that the Sabro you'd get a bit more pronunciation, but I'm not really picking out the very sort of distinct sort of woody coconut flavour. Very heavy on Talus and heavy on the orange peel. There is a little bit actually that woody coconut, but it's a little bit, it's sort of hidden a little bit in this, in terms of you get little pockets of it. Talus is dominant in this beer. And I know a lot of people are not big fans of Talus. Now, I don't mind Talus, but I find it's definitely a hop that needs something else and needs something a bit different. So, you know, you pair it with something like, yeah, like, I don't know, let's say Galaxy or Nelson Sauvin or Citra. Hops with big profiles themselves. It takes a little bit of the edge off the Talus. But pairing Talus and Sabro, they're quite similar. Almost like the Sabro is like accentuating the Talus flavour, that real rose petal sort of flavour, Turkish delight. And I suppose they thought, oh, we'll add a bit of orange peel because that might take the edge off. But really, you're getting that sort of, that slight bitterness of orange, and that sort of goes into a very floral flavour. I'm trying to work out whether I like it or not. It's a difficult one. It's certainly, I mean, again, the mouthfeel is smooth. It goes down really well. It's a real easy drinking beer. I just think that orange peel is a little bit too much, and then and the Sabro is a little bit lost in the mix. But it's quite different than a lot of beers we drink. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a New England IPA. Low bitterness. The only bitterness you're really getting is that orange peel. The rind of orange, you're getting that little bit that sort of hangs around a little bit on the back end. So you get that hit of it first. Then you're getting all this sort of sweet and flowery flavour. There's a little bit of woody coconut, but whether I'm just sort of thinking that, I'm imagining it because I know that's what Sabro brings. I'm not really getting much in terms of pineapple. Creamy mint is the other thing you get with Sabro, and lime, creamy mint, and the other thing is, yeah, pineapple, lime and mint. But you're not really getting them as much. The orange is sort of taking a lot of that. You get a bit of the woody coconut, but it's very, very flowery in terms of its flavour. Mouth feels cracking. It's something different. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Severe Tilt from Bereta Brewing Company, and this is heavily hopped IPA with oranges. Well, it's actually orange peel, according to the blurb, and also Sabro and Talus. I just really remembered Sabro Talus. It's not Talus Sabro, but it's very dominant, in my opinion, of Talus hop. Really, if you like Talus and Sabro, even together with nothing else except for a bit of orange peel, you should like this. If you don't like those hops, then you're probably not going to like it. It is very dominant on that Talus. And as I said before, the Talus really is a hot sort of hop that's very distinct and very strong in its flavour. Turkish Delight, pink grapefruit, but overall very, very flowery in its flavouring. Sabro can be very dominant as well, but it's a little bit less in the mix here. You are getting little pockets of that woody coconut, but you're not getting anything that cuts through it. The lime, pineapple even, creamy mint, you're not really getting any of that because I think the orange peel is quite dominant as well. So Talus with a bit of orange peel is really the key flavour. If that sounds all right to you, then you might be all right. But let's go for the scores. Starting with aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. Now, I can't remember how much I paid for this. I think it was just over £5. And finally, overall experience. Tighten the scores up. Well, we're getting right bang in the middle of the recommended. 75 total score. Yeah, it's okay. It's, as I say, it's recommended unless you don't like Talus and Sabro. I know the beer engineers guy's not a big fan of Talus. And I think, to be honest, mate, if you tried this, you wouldn't like it. So, yeah, Nick at Beer Engineers, you're probably not going to really want to drink this because it is very heavy on the Talus. And with Sabro, there's not much. It's the distinctness of another hop is not there with Sabro. It's too similar. It's sort of too in parallel with it, if that makes any sense. So very much you've got to like those hops to really like this beer. But I quite like it. It's different. The mouthfeel is the key. But I've never had a Bereta beer that hasn't had this really great mouthfeel. That's one of the things that I think they're quite famous for. Really soft, smooth, easy drinking. See, now it's warmed up a little bit in the glass. I'm getting more of that woody coconut coming in. There's certainly more of that Sabro hop coming into the mix, but Talus is still there. And it's a nice beer. It's a really nice beer. And I think the thing is, we don't see enough of these hops, Sabro and Talus. There was a time where it seemed like every other beer had a Sabro in it, and then suddenly now you don't see them. I think it's just because like every other beer's got some sort of New Zealand hop in it. Really, that's the big thing. And Sabro sort of gone a bit to the, that was a year or probably 2 years ago. That was all the rage, and it's just not as popular now. I don't know why that is, but I've enjoyed this beer, and a 75 is still recommended score. But let me know anything from Bereta. I love the brewery. I mean, they were in my top 10 breweries, I think. Certainly the last couple of years they have been. I don't drink enough because they don't bring out that many beers, but I try and get them when I can, because I always know that mouthfeel is really up there with some of the best in terms of, like Verdants and Polly's and to some extent Daya in terms of mouthfeel. But yeah, that's enough from me today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And until the next one, well, you know what you do. Drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.